Hey everybody, Tyler here. Today I wanted to do a short-term review of my 2020 Specialized Epic Hardtail. This is the expert model, so like most people looking at this bike, I got it with the intentions of racing. Since COVID has kind of happened, a lot of racing in North America at least has been canceled, so it's kind of left me in a different spot for reviewing this bike. Starting with the chassis, this bike is really cool. The frame, super high quality, it's really lightweight. Something that always makes me laugh when I'm riding is knowing that while this is not the S-Works frame, it's second tier, you could say, it's a bit heavier, it's still lighter than most other brands' top of the line frame. So if you look at a lot of guys even racing at the highest level, World Cups, your $2,000 version of this bike still has a lighter frame than some of their super bikes. So that's really cool, especially if you're a high school racer or you're new to the sport, wanting to dabble in racing. As far as the parts go, specifically to this bike, GX, RockShox SID, SRAM level brakes. It's one of those things when I purchased the bike, because of my racing intentions, I was already kind of like, okay, I'm gonna swap the bars, swap the seat post, I'm gonna swap the cranks, drop some weight, do all these little different things to really lighten the bike up, make it a little more racy. Once races got canceled and the reasoning for those changes kind of disappeared, the mindset shifted a bit. And it quickly became, okay, I'm gonna ride the bike as it is to give a better review of stock. And now 6 weeks later, it's kind of like, I don't know that I need to change anything. Like maybe still change the bars and seat posts for comfort, but otherwise the part spec's solid. It's kind of a set it and forget it. The GX works. It's not amazing, but it works. The brakes, same deal. It's one of those things you're just never like, oh, these brakes are really fancy, they're insane, but they stop you every time. So as far as that goes, I've been really happy with the specs. All that said, I've been really happy with how the bike rides. One thing with hardtails is they don't let you slack, and this bike is no exception. Marketing says it's a bit more compliant, a bit more comfortable. It's still a hardtail. That said, if your core's weak, if your back's weak, you're gonna feel it. If your legs aren't feeling hot that day, you're gonna feel it. If you're not good at descending or you're just tired and not riding well, the bike's gonna let you know. So that's always something to keep in mind with hardtails. But all that said, if you are on it, if you're feeling strong, your technique's good, this bike is awesome. It's incredibly fast, it's smooth. One thing that's interesting that I've noticed with the hardtail after riding full suspensions for years is you definitely notice tire wear quicker. So these tires still have a lot of life in them, but I'm already experiencing more slippage when accelerating out of the saddle just due to the rigidity of the frame. Another small thing that is kind of a observation, not necessarily a bad thing, is the fork. I've been really happy with this fork on my full suspension Epic, set it up exactly the same. The difference between the two bikes though is the rear shock on the full suspension Epic settles in and matches the fork. So what that does on the hardtail is when you're on the pavement, if the fork compresses because it's pivoting around the rear axle, you notice the front end dip. And that's something I only notice on paved roads, generally riding to the trailhead. As soon as I'm on the dirt, the fork, it just disappears. You don't notice it. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's awesome. So no complaints there. It feels great. So all in all, my final impressions towards this bike have been really positive. I am only 6 weeks in, so if anything changes, I'll try to do a longer term review. Initially, I kind of came away with, is it worth getting a hardtail? I already had a full suspension. And from a racing standpoint, on specific courses, I think it's a great choice every time. COVID eliminated races, so it kind of left me back to the drawing board. And after 6 weeks, I am really happy. It's fun to ride. One of the cool things about hardtails is just simplicity. Get on this bike, you shift and you brake. That's all there is to it. Like the suspension takes care of itself. There's no bearings that are falling apart in the back. Everything's good. And then if it gets dirty, it takes 10 minutes to clean. It's a hardtail. So that's stellar. If you are interested in these bikes, this is an excellent build. I'm happy with it. $4,300. Also on that note, if you're looking at this bike and you're not in the $4,300 price range, you get the same frame on the $2,600 and $2,100 bikes. So if you're a high school racer looking to kind of start your career, you're a freshman, get that $2,100 bike, mow some lawns your sophomore year, buy some wheels, and you can race that bike all the way through your senior year, varsity level, as you've progressed in the sport. Same with any other riders. If you're new to the sport, not sure if you want to get into mountain bike racing, this is going to be a great platform. You can take this bike from your local races all the way to Leadville 100. It's as capable as you are. So the bike's not going to hold you back. Certain courses, the full suspension is going to be better, but all in all, very happy. If this video helps, it provides you with any information, please hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends, do whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe.